Welcome back to BNG Hockey, where it's always black and gold. Yesterday, the Bruins put forward Karson Kuhlman on waivers, and believe it or not, he got claimed. Let's talk about it. Kuhlman will be headed to the NHL's newest franchise, the Seattle Kraken. If you were to ask me yesterday whether or not I thought Kuhlman would have been claimed, I probably would have said no. I've seen a lot better players pass through waivers this season, and in my opinion, Kuhlman is a borderline NHL player at best. But once I did a little more digging into his brand new team, it makes a little more sense why he got claimed. One of the biggest advocates to claim Kuhlman off waivers, I'm sure, was assistant coach of the Seattle Kraken, Jay Leach, who used to be the head coach of the Providence Bruins. Now, as I said, in my opinion, Kuhlman's a borderline NHL player at best, which means he's a pretty good AHL player, and probably somebody Leach like having on his AHL team. So I wouldn't be surprised if he said something to the organization about bringing him in. But Leach won't be the only familiar face to Karson Kuhlman when he comes into that locker room. He'll also be playing with former Bruins Marcus Johansson, Ryan Donato, and Jeremy Lauzon. And it's always a good thing to have some familiar faces. It's good for chemistry, and it helps the player fit in a lot quicker than he normally would getting claimed or traded to a brand new team. Now let's take a look at the player that the Bruins are losing and the player that the Kraken are getting. Karson Kuhlman is a 26-year-old undrafted winger. In 75 NHL games, he has 7 goals, 8 assists for a total of 15 points. This season, in 19 games for the Bruins, he has a goal and an assist for a total of 2 points. So for the Bruins, they're not really losing too much production-wise from Kuhlman, and for the Seattle Kraken, you're hoping it can't get much worse in terms of production than 2 points in 19 games. Now, if they are looking for the most out of Kuhlman, I would recommend trying to send him down to the AHL, where in 74 games, he has 19 goals, 20 assists for a total of 39 points. The points totals still aren't that crazy, but they're definitely better, and it does help hammer home my point that he's a borderline NHL guy. You can probably sense that I'm not a big Karson Kuhlman fan, and I'm not too upset to see him go. This is nothing against Kuhlman as a person, or even as a player for that matter. This is more how they used him and the guys he was playing over in the lineup. For me, this started back when the Bruins were playing the Blues in the Stanley Cup Final. I know it's a sore subject, but I still think one of the biggest mistakes the Bruins made was scratching David Backes. Now, he was not playing his best hockey, and he definitely didn't look like the David Backes he did for most of his great NHL career. But he was still a former captain of the Blues, still an NHL veteran who's played plenty of games and has experience, and if nothing else, he brought size and physicality, which is something the Bruins desperately needed because they were getting bullied by the Blues. But instead, they put tiny little Karson Kuhlman in the lineup, put him next to David Krejci, where he definitely doesn't belong because he shouldn't even be in the lineup, never mind on the second line. And they were trying to win that hockey game, and that was the lineup decision they made. Now again, that's not Kuhlman's fault. He did his best. He does bring speed. He's not afraid to shoot it, but he doesn't score with any kind of consistency. And as I said, he's probably better off being your 13th forward on a very good team. And for the longest time now, I've said that I want the Bruins to start calling up some of their younger players instead of always calling up guys like Karson Kuhlman, who you already know what he is, and he's never getting much better. If you call up a guy like Oskar Steen, what do you know? You found a player, he's giving you more production-wise, and a guy like Kuhlman becomes irrelevant. But you never know that if you don't give Steen his chance. And I don't want the Bruins to stop at Oskar Steen. I want to see more of Trent Frederick. I want to see more of Jack Studnicka. Maybe give Lauko a call up. But a guy like Karson Kuhlman kind of becomes a roadblock for these younger players, and you never really know if you have anything because they never get the chance. At one point in time, Kuhlman made sense for the Bruins. He was a player you could send up and down to and from the AHL. He was a guy they felt comfortable moving up and down in the lineup. He brought you speed and was always ready to go, even though he wasn't playing every night, which is something that's pretty hard to do. And every now and then he would shoot the puck and score a nice goal. So for the Seattle Kraken, you can look forward to that. He's a guy who will bring energy, and what better place for a borderline NHL player than a borderline NHL team? That team has really struggled this season. They don't have a lot of talent, and they need all the help they can get. So maybe Karson Kuhlman will be a nice find, or at least a breath of fresh air for this team. He knows some players in the locker room, and you never really know when a guy gets waived if they're going to be more motivated, getting another chance with a new franchise. So I wish Karson Kuhlman all the best with the Seattle Kraken. Let me know your thoughts on the Bruins waiving him. Are you surprised he got claimed by the Kraken? And how do you think he'll do there? Leave that down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big like, and if you haven't already, subscribe.